Greetings, EJK here, and I'm going to be bringing you guys a very, I was going to say special, but all of my videos I try to make as special as possible, so a very unique game that I I waited a really long time to do another game, because what I look for in a game is a lot of, well, I'm very picky when I choose a game. I like to see an innovative play to a normal style, or a very game-changing kind of build that looks really cool, or just some sort of unique way that a player chooses to play. And in this case, I found one in the Red Bull Online qualifiers between Reality and Rogue, Game 2 on Nimbus. I've waited, like, I don't know, like, best of threes and, I don't know, at least like 50 plus games of just watching StarCraft before I saw this game, and I was just like, whoa, what happened here? And that's what we are going to find out. Alright. So, I really liked this game, and I'm picking this to do for this webisode because Reality chooses to play a very standard kind of style, but he makes several adjustments to the normal 3 command center variation that we normally see in this matchup. He makes a Banshee, he makes a Viking, and his medvac drop is significantly faster, or it's not faster, it hits at the same time, but it's significantly stronger than if he was to do a regular 3cc opening, make 6 Hellions, then make your second and third barracks, and then your double engineering base. And we're gonna take a look and see why. And also, I just love that it's on this map that he does this build, which allows you to get 3 medvacs out at the 11-minute mark, and he goes straight for a doom drop into the Zerg's natural and catches the Zerg out of position. The Zerg player Rogue scrambles into his natural and tries to clean up the mess, but slow Zerglings, or slow Banelings and fast Zerglings going in one by one get easily decimated, and this cost-efficient trade ends up being a GG very, very quickly. So unfortunately, we aren't going to be able to see part 2 of what Reality's game plan was for this map, but I'm sure we'll see it again in the future, and when we do, I will be sure to make another video of it. And by part 2, I mean he had started making siege tanks after clearly scouting that Rogue was going mutabaneling. So he was getting prepared to do a bomber-esque style. And I would have loved to see where that went, how he uses it on this map. I think siege tanks are pretty strong on this map because there is that high, especially in these positions, but in general there's this high ground that you can occupy, and then if it's cross positions you can occupy this high ground. If it's these two positions you can occupy this high ground. That makes it really easy to get a really good position. And if you have siege tanks on a high ground and you're being aggressive, I think that's the idea that Reality was trying to go for here. Anyways, a little bit about the build. Reality is opening up with a CC first on this map. I think it's a very, very safe build to do because of that easy to take natural base. And he's getting a second gas as if he was going to do a Hellion Banshee build. Which is kind of partially what he's doing. He makes a starport, but he's only making one Banshee, and he's going to be faking the cloak as well. Now, this isn't the kind of oh, and also notice how he hasn't used any of his buildings to wall off. He walls off on this map with simply a bunker and a depot. I think it's very, very safe. And it also allows you to hide your tech a little bit better and kind of forces the Zerg player to Overlord Scout if they weren't planning to already. So, Rogue here, he's opening up a very, very standard kind of play. He's getting his third hatch. It started at about 6 minutes, and he's just adding additional queens on before he starts Oh, he actually started mining gas again. So I believe he's going for a fast layer with this extra 100 gas after his speed. And this overlord goes in. Reality immediately starts the Mobius reactor, or whatever the hell it's called, to fake that there's cloak going on. And then he starts the third command center. That third command center, I think, just kind of got lucky. But a little pause here to take a look at how the build has progressed. He's adding his gases slightly early, but he's only made 4 Hellions, and his Banshee is halfway done. And he's just started his third command center, and he's starting a reactor on his factory. So already what this does is it gives you much faster marine production. Because you aren't making your 5th and 6th Hellion, you're going to be able to afford your additional Raxes right here. They go down a lot earlier, and you're going to be able to start the reactor on the factory a lot faster as well. So he's going to start marine production a lot quicker than a normal 6 Hellion opener. And then we see the standard 2 barracks and then 2 engineering bays, and then he should have taken the 2 gas, in my opinion. But I digress. And after the Banshee comes out, the Banshee is right here on the map, we see a Viking being made. And this Viking, I think, is very important because not only does it deny... sorry, I'm going to pause the game. It's a really short video, so I don't think these pauses should really be that big of a deal. The importance of the Viking here is that not only does it clear overlords for potential drops, so Reality is able to... This is all the things that a Viking does. It denies scouting vision from the Zerg player. It denies map control from the Zerg player. It is cost effective because if it kills 2 overlords, I think it's pretty worth it for a Viking, the cost of a Viking. And against very fast layer play, such as layer roaches or fast spires, where the Zerg player tends to get an overlord and starts creeping your 3rd base because of the fast layer and delays your 3rd base, the Viking will prevent that creep spread at your 3rd base from even happening, because it'll clear out all of the overlords in the area, and so your 3rd command center will not be delayed at all. So the Viking is very important, and I really like it on this map too, because there's a lot of dead airspace in the natural of the base. There's those little dead air spaces over there. This map is literally built on space, or I guess looking at the background, like on a planet or something in the clouds. And so there's a lot of dead air, so to speak, so that drops and mutalisks can be pretty effective. And as we see from the Zerg player Rogue, he's scouting with his Overseer. He's gonna... Everything looks pretty normal so far. He doesn't see anything out of the ordinary, such as mech play, such as no 3rd command center, or anything like that. And he also sends a changeling over too, so as if his Overseer didn't get enough information, he now knows 100% of what the... of what Reality's doing. But what we see here is a medevac. This medevac comes... So the... what's the word for it? The queue of the starport, I guess, is he builds a Banshee first, and then he builds a Viking, and then he builds a medevac. And then while he's building the medevac, he's going to make a reactor, or I believe his reactor on the factory is finished right now, and he's going to switch it over pretty soon. The reactor on the factory being for the starport, of course, and adding those second 2 barracks. Yep, there we go. And what we see here is Reality is making a tech lab on his factory, and that was the part 2 that I was talking about, that unfortunately we will not get a chance to see what he had in store for us today. Anyways, so it's already 9 minutes and 40 seconds out, and these 2 medevacs are gonna pop out. Reality, his stim is about to finish, his 1-1 is gonna finish around the time that the medevac drop will be in play. So this is already shaping up to be a very, very solid mid-game push that we're going to be seeing from Reality here. And remember, he only made 4 Hellions instead of 6, so that his barracks have been producing units longer than normal by a full, I believe it takes like 30 or 40, I think around 30-ish seconds for Hellion to build, so his army's going to be a full production cycle ahead. And as we see here, the 2 medevacs speed boosting across the map, and it's already 10 minutes and 40 seconds, so these medevacs come out at 10:30, and this is going to be an 11-minute push with 3 Medvacs worth of units, and these units, these like Hellions are also that are loaded into the Medvac are also going to be able to transform into Hellbats. So this is a very, very scary push here, and immediately Rogue has some units there to greet it, but the landing party gets quickly demolished. And as we see here, Rogue, he doesn't want to stream his units in one by one. Unfortunately, his banelings have to go through the mineral line, which is a very natural choke point for the Terran player to abuse. And as a result, he loses all of his banelings, and he also loses pretty much everything here. He loses the game because of this powerful 11-minute drop. And then, as if that's not enough, to add insult to injury, Reality's pushing with another group of units towards the third base, and that's why Rogue is forced to GG, because even though he could have cleaned up the push, he wouldn't have been able to clean up the third. There was just an overwhelming amount of units. So, kind of a short video, but I really wanted to highlight just that it's just such a great way to see both how the map is played, or how to play the map very well, using the Viking to deny vision, and using the 3 Medvac drop to catch the Zerg player completely out of position by dropping into his natural, and also it hits before the Mutalists. Well, I believe the Mutalists were out, but the Mutalists were going straight to the natural base. Rogue obviously didn't expect this kind of a push to hit so early as well, and even if it was a 2 Medevac drop, I think he would have been able to clean it up, but because he was able to have 3 Medevacs available by the 11-minute mark, this push was a lot stronger than he expected. So that brings the end to this video, nice and quick. I definitely suggest you guys check it out. I'll link the video and the time during the video in the comments below, so you can take the build if you want. I haven't taken the build yet, otherwise I would have posted it in the comments, but maybe I will later on. But I definitely do plan on using this build myself. I think it's a very nifty little build to use, and you don't have to use siege tanks. You can just make a reactor on the factory and start widow mines instead, but it would have been really nice to see where Reality was going with the siege tank based play. Alright, so thanks for watching this short little video, and yeah, I guess that's it. Have a good night, all.